with 50 Plus Beauty, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. I am actually doing a tag today, and it was Miss Swoosbird's tag. She didn't know it was a tag when she did it, but I thought her video, I watched her video this morning, and it was so wonderful that I thought I have to do a tag on it. And I can't remember what hers was called. And by the way, you've got to go see her. She's wonderful. She has the best hair of anybody our age I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I went and looked at what her video was called, and it was called Update on My Palette Plan. And if you haven't seen it, you ought to go see it because it really is quite thought-provoking in the amount of makeup stuff we get, and it answers the question, do we really need all of that? I didn't see the first video, but apparently around the first of the year, around 3 or 4 months ago, she started with this palette plan. She realized she had so many eyeshadow palettes that she hardly used them, didn't know which one she had, that kind of thing. And that really made me think about my eyeshadow palettes. And these are my palettes, I'm embarrassed to admit. I have been on YouTube, oops, they're falling over. I have so many of them. I have riches of palettes. I basically have been on YouTube about 3 weeks. And so I could not use this much makeup in little videos for you guys in probably 10 years. And this is such a contrast to before I came to YouTube, maybe a year ago when my makeup was looking bad. I had like one eyeshadow. And I would hit pan on that, and then I'd rebuy the same CoverGirl eyeshadow over and over again. But once you start watching YouTube, you see all these wonderful makeups that people are doing with these gorgeous palettes, and you kind of think, I need that one. That palette is the answer to my life. Well, anyway, what that has meant to me is that over the last maybe 3 months, because I started buying these when I was just watching those other wonderful ladies on YouTube. Some of them are, like I got this one, the Superhero, the It Superhero. And I love this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. And really, I could create a ton of looks out of this palette. But I think so far, I may have used this once. One thing I don't like about it, and they're starting to do this more, I don't know why they can't, you spend so much on them, why they can't give you a real clasp on your palette. But anyway, that's one of them. I won't go through all of them, but of course, I had to get the Naked palettes. And this one I tried on in the Smoky palette. I tried on a couple of looks in the Ulta store, which I really do like to go in the Ulta store and do that. And it was just beautiful. I mean, what is it about a palette in the store that you're trying on that you go, oh my, I've got to have that one. And then you order it and you maybe don't use it so much anymore. But anyway, that's a great palette. Both of these Nakeds are awesome palettes. And then I got the Lorac Pro palette. And again, I've got this expensive palette, basically I've got a rubber band on it like I would in high school because the thing has no clasp. Come on guys, we need a clasp. At least give us a clasp. I mean, that thing is gorgeous. And the Lorac shadows I've heard are really, really good. And I may have used that once, at this point. And then I also, the bargain hunter in me decided, well, those Makeup Revolution palettes, I saw some pretty good reviews on those too. So I've got some Makeup Revolution palettes. I won't even open that one. I think that's a blush palette. So that's not an eyeshadow. And that is a Salvation palette. What the heck is that? Oh, eyeshadows. It's an eyeshadow too, but it's just covered up. So anyway, I've got those, and I've got this little e.l.f. palette. Again, they didn't give me, even in the cheap e.l.f. Price, they sometimes don't give you a little clasp, which is odd to me. But that sucker looks pretty cool. I mean, that's got a lot of good potential looks in it. So anyway, I won't keep taking you through all of these, but seeing what Swoozy was talking about, and I think at the first of the video, I called her Swoosbird, which is not correct, but it is Swoozy, much nicer name, Swoozy. In fact, that is an odd name, isn't it? Not Susie, but Swoozy. But anyway, Swoozy made a lot of sense to me. She made a super amount of sense. And I realized that I don't want to let, having a YouTube channel be a big excuse to buy things that I don't need. And I thought, well, heck, she did the palette plan or whatever. I'm going to go on a 30-day makeup sobriety. In other words, for 30 days, 1 day at a time, I am not going to buy anything. And you other YouTubers out there, when I see your gorgeous eye makeups and whatever, I'm just going to walk on the other side of the road. I'm not even going to go there because I can, one thing I can do, I don't have to buy new. I can look at the makeup that you're doing and I can say, in this wonderful Revolution palette that I've not used, that's a similar color. I can use that. So I can use what I have instead of going out and continually buying. The UPS men or women, I'm sure they've worn a path probably in my grass to my front door. It's getting a little ridiculous. And I go into Ulta and they know who I am. And believe me, I only have 500 subscribers at this point. So they're not subscribers. They just know who I am because I spend a lot of time in there. And there are better things in life to do probably than to spit in an Ulta. Sorry, Ulta. Wait. Oh, I've got to brag about one palette I do have though, which I cannot believe I bought this, but this is a Tom Ford eyeshadow palette. And this sucker, I saw Sugar Puff and Fluff do a gorgeous eye makeup with this Tom Ford palette. And really, you know, it is crazy. For each of those 4 little pads in the quad, probably I could have gotten a whole eyeshadow palette for just the cost of one of those. I'm a beginner at all this, and I am realizing that there may be some better beginner palettes for someone like me than a Tom Ford palette, because these are very pigmented colors, and there was a lot of fallout here too, which wasn't easy to deal with. But anyway, I have that, and I've decided it's kind of like that great dress that you're gonna wear, you know, when you lose that weight. As soon as I get a little more experience with this makeup, then I'm gonna use the Tom Ford, and it is gonna look wonderful, I am sure. That will probably be the answer to my life. So that is what I'm going to do. Oh, and I do have my little lipsticks out here too to show you it isn't just eyeshadows I'm buying. It is all these little lipsticks. I've got lip pencils here. Actually, these are some eye pencils and some mascaras. And these are some lipsticks. And then I've got my little IT Cosmetics. This is my little IT Cosmetics full face palette, and I'm actually giving one of these away through the end of April. And so there is a video out there on the IT Cosmetics giveaway, so please subscribe and, you know, go to that video and subscribe. I'd love to have you. I just decided it's time to really appreciate what I have, and so I'm going to start, instead of looking to buy new, I'm going to start using the palettes I have. And I'm going to be doing some makeup tutorials for you all, but I'm going to shop my own little bin here, my own little cosmetics that I already have. And you know, I'm going to be 59 years old tomorrow. I've been talking about it for three weeks or a month. Maybe it's been difficult for me to get used to. But tomorrow is actually my 59th birthday. And last night, I had my 2 best girlfriends in the world that took me out for a steak dinner, and that was super fun. And they gave me this wonderful little bracelet, which I love. And it's just a little, you know, it's got a little rose on it. And it is a brand, which I'd never heard of, called Ginger Snaps, which is very interesting. This is the little Ginger Snap booklet that came with it. And basically this little rose thing right here, you can use like a little key thing to take that off. And then you can get all manner of other little medallion things to go in there. So it's kind of versatile jewelry. I really wasn't wanting to tell you specifically about that brand of jewelry, although I'll put it down below in the video because it is pretty neat. Really what I was thinking is how much joy I got out of this one bracelet that they bought me. That means a lot to me, that they would go out of their way to go out and pick that out and give that to me for my birthday, and that it was for my birthday. That's just really, really special. And I realized that in relation to all of these makeup palettes, there was a time in my life when I could probably have only afforded one of them. And when if I saved my 20 bucks and bought that palette, I would have just probably, used the heck out of that palette, out of every pan of that shadow, and I would have really just enjoyed it. I would have gotten a lot of joy out of that purchase. And I think sometimes we buy so much stuff, or at least I do, buy so much stuff that we hardly even know what we have. We don't really appreciate the things that we have. And I'm going to stop that, at least one day at a time on my 30-day challenge. I'm going to really appreciate this little Revolutions palette, and I'm going to use it and really see what it has to offer. Really, that's just my own little 2 cents for the day. Well, I guess I have nothing else to say. I'm just really excited about my new little 30-day makeup sobriety challenge, and thank you, Swoozy Bird, for kind of making me think about that, because I think this will be interesting to see. I'll probably have withdrawals, I might check in with you guys and say, oh, I really want to buy that palette. But for 30 days, one day at a time, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to really appreciate what I have. And most of all, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate so much that at this late stage in my life, as a grown-up woman, I have a YouTube channel. I mean, how weird is that? And I get to talk to you all, which is a joy to me. And if you have any comments on anything, put them down below. I'd appreciate it. If you could give me a thumbs up, I would so much appreciate that. I try to get in the habit whenever I go into any of my other YouTube ladies, which I watch a ton of other women on YouTube. Before I leave, I always give them a little thumbs up because it's just a little nice thing you can do. I'm so new at this, I'm not quite sure why that helps us, but I've heard that it does, so that's a nice thing. And please do subscribe and hit the little bell, because that means you'll get notification of my videos. And I've got some really good ones coming up. I think you'll like them. So anyway, I hope you'll make it a good day, make it a good week, and make your second half your absolute best half. Take care.